Stephanie, A-Cam, Mark. C-Cam, Mark.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all the things again.
High enough? Yeah. D-Cam, soft six, Mark.
Schmirk. They have to do like a soft mark. So they have to like tap it down lightly when they're near people.
Oh,
That's when you know they're properly film trained.
wow.
Yeah.
This is legit.
Like, this is legit.
Oh.
Yeah, the 3-year diploma for that.
Yeah.
So, how's it been?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. How's it been for you?
It's been a whirlwind. And I know that every time we talk, it's usually like, hey, you want to talk about the roller coaster today?
Yeah.
And I really want to talk about your story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about your kind of arc too, because it takes a lot to kind of go through some of the arcs that you've gone through. So that's what I'd like to dive into today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, perfect. So I want to start right at the beginning.
We're going way back.
I'm going way back.
Okay.
So you have built something from nothing. So let's start there, because I was like the bottom, right? Like, you want to start there and then
Sure.
work our way forward? So,
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So tell me about young Stephanie at that point.
Like back when the business was starting out?
Can we go earlier?
No, I think that's a good spot.
Barry?
Oh, you want to go there? We can go there. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out how to earn an income. I was up against a lot of barriers. I had 2 small children. I was pregnant with my third. I wasn't going to have any mat leave because I was in school when I found out about Addie. And then I realized I was going to be on my own and I was going to need a way to provide for them. Also figuring out a way to be able to put them in daycare, and daycare only runs Monday to Friday during the day. So I borrowed $100 and I bought a pay-as-you-go cell phone and some business cards and bought a legit bottle of Windex. Like, that was the kit. And I just started telling everyone I know that I was going to start cleaning houses and went from there.
So you had a burner phone and a Windex as like your starter.
Yeah, I bought, like, I already had the phone, but I had to get, like, I needed to get minutes.
Yeah.
I needed minutes for the phone. And yeah, business cards. And that was it.
So did you borrow the $100
Yeah, off my dad.
off your dad?
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, because back then, money was so tight too that, so there was days I had to borrow money to buy milk, right? So borrowing $100, knowing it's one thing if somebody borrows $100 for you and they have a way to pay you back, but it's another thing when somebody's like, hey, I don't have anything, but like, can you spot me $100? So yeah, I just let him know I had this idea and I needed to get a couple things to get it up and running, and yeah.
And so you decided to get into cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I didn't have I had worked in retail. I had done serving. I had done a lot of things that were outside of the business hours. That wasn't going to work this time. So I just was driving one day and I'm like, well, I could clean houses. And the funny thing was, if you would have seen my house at that time, you would have been like, you actually can't clean houses. But it was something that I knew I could just pick up and do and figure it out. Nobody was going to be standing over watching me figure it out. I was not making any money for a long time because it took me probably twice as long as it should. But yeah, I knew it was something that I was going to be able to figure out.
And so you just kind of got started with no like prior background in that. Was your goal to build a business at that point, or was it literally just to get enough money on the table to put food on the table?
I think it was to build a business. I had a really good teacher. I was taking this like random course for like office administration or something. And he was an entrepreneur. He had an entrepreneurial background. And so when I told him about the barriers I was facing, I was like, what do I do? He's like, you're going to start a business. So I wrote a couple business plans. Like, I wrote one for a consignment shop. And when I got to the end of the business plan, I'm like, that didn't make sense. So like, it didn't have a feasible, it was too much startup. And it just, the numbers didn't make sense. So when I did this, I still have my original business plan. The Sage Cleaning Company. Don't just stage your home, sage your home. That was it.
So was that designed to be for like selling homes at that point?
Yeah, for the real estate industry.
So you knew someone that was in real estate?
Yeah, my mom's a realtor. She was working for a big team back in Barrie, and I kind of asked a few questions if this was a need. Yeah, and people there's always been a big demand in the cleaning industry. Even still, you hear people all the time looking for cleaners. So it was something that as I got through it, I kind of created a niche. But starting out, it was just, I needed to get some money generating.
What did that feel like as a parent?
I just knew I had to do it. Yeah, I just looked at those kids, and I had actually gotten approved to move into a unit that was in a little bit of a rough neighborhood. It's what I could afford at the time. And I drove there at night, and I sat in the parking lot. And in that moment, I was like, no, we're gonna try to hustle hard here. And
so you had somewhere to live up to there, right?
Off and on, yeah. My life's like, honestly, my path of life has been a pretty windy trail. I have gone through seasons of, not having very secure housing opportunities. Then with the kids, I always figured that out. They always had before, when it was just me, I could have a backpack. I could sleep anywhere.
Well, because when it's you, it's just you.
Yeah. There was like freedom in the backpack life, like couch surfing life. It was like
But as a parent.
Yeah. Showing up with 3 kids to somebody's couch, they're like, ah. So my biggest thing is I wanted to give them stability. And I've always been able to visualize where I want to go. So I've always held on to the vision. So yeah.
Usually a vision like that is born from having a feeling or a moment in time where you've gone through something in the complete opposite.
Yes.
Right. So like for me, when I've, as I continue to try and learn how to speak and that's because I had those moments where I didn't know how to even say something. And I was like pure frozen. So was there a core feeling that was the catalyst for you where you're like, enough's enough?
Yeah. Just looking at my life and realizing this will be generational, right? Like I need to break these patterns and these cycles now, or it'll carry on. So
were you scared?
Oh, yeah. I've been scared most of my life, to be honest with you. I think that's why creating a life where you're fully in control of it is something that drove my entrepreneurial desire, right? Like nobody can take my house from me. Nobody can take, well, the bank could, but I'm in more control of that. So yeah, there was times where I didn't know if this was going to work out. I didn't know how to make it. Even when I was cleaning back then, my back went out at one point, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm broke, right? Like there's no money
physically broke, and
I'm physically broken, and there's no money coming in. So that's when I started to realize like just doing it on my own independently is very risky because I am the only person who's generating that income.
I've never had that moment where I've realized that I needed a team because I had to have a team.
Yeah.
I've done it because I've wanted to have the team.
Yes. For me, I listened to a podcast once, and it said, take the maximum of hours you can work every week, multiply that by your hourly rate, and that's the most amount of money you'll ever make. And I was like, okay, heard. So how
did that make you feel? Because I mean, like at that point you still had, like when you heard that, you were well established at that point, or were you?
No.
So how did that make you feel? Because like you talk about control.
Yeah.
And that you want to have that full control because you felt a complete lack of control.
Mm-hmm.
So where does is that just to make sure that you never get back into this spot?
The funny thing is I think about that spot every day, right? Like every day I wake up and I'm trying to work through that now. It's probably the thing on my mind the most lately. I'm always trying to develop, right? And it's the thing lately where I'm like, stop feeling like everything is going to be taken away. It's all going to be gone, right? You're going to go back to where you started. Like every day I battle that fear. And that's probably the side of me that people don't see, but.
Well, because the people that know you just surface level, know this confident, successful, right? And just kind of, you've done stuff that people dream of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's born from an innate skill of understanding people.
Yes.
Right. It's also from understanding that to get from point A to point B, with what you want to do, you need a decent crew. You need a decent team to do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scariest thing was what you have to let go of to grow a team, right? Like control, I keep using the C word, but the control is a thing that I hold on to. I'm safe when I'm fully in control, right? And now it's like when you're bringing on a team, when you're building a team, you have to let go of the control. I used to think I'm the only one who can hire. I'm the only one who can lock a building. I'm the only one who can mop a floor. But you also can't be everywhere at the same time. You'll burn yourself out. So you have to let go of the control, accept that things are going to fail at some times. And the only problems that are going to hit your email are big problems that nobody else can figure out. So you have to be ready to grow a team and be willing to take on all of the pain points that come with it.
Yeah. And managing people is its own thing. Do you feel that you need to be well put together to manage people?
I think you have to be well put together for your own good. I think people are okay being raw and being vulnerable, especially when you have like a well-nurtured team. It's okay to be real. But if I wake up every day and I don't stare myself in the mirror and be like, pull yourself together, like the day's not going to go the way that I typically want it to. So yeah, but you also can't share your problems with everybody, right? You're there to solve the problems that are coming to you. So I can't, say, wow, payroll's coming out this week. I'm really stressed out about it. Like that would make people feel a little insecure about their employment, right? So yeah, I think you have to be put together just to face the challenges that you're going to come up against every day.
The thing I found too is often the most of the work needs to happen internally in your mind and understanding what is driving it. Right. So like the control thing for yourself would come from a place of non-control. Like for me, it's a case of, learning to trust others and say, yep, I believe you can do this. And like when I grew up, it was never really, people always said, oh, he'll just land on his feet.
Yeah.
Which, and his core is very innocent, right? But then when you start looking at it, it's like, he doesn't need help. So, you get to the point where you don't ask for help because you've been told so many times that you're capable. And then when you can't do it, then you feel like an absolute failure because you can't do it. When really, no one could do that without the help of someone else.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that to me, like for me, that was really a tough one to get past. When you talk about confidence and stuff, it's like, building up the confidence, but also saying, yeah, it's okay to need help to set up something like this. And you need a team to do that. You can't just do that by yourself, Yeah.
And it's okay to delegate. The other thing I struggled with is not doing the work, right? Is having to delegate and not just jump in every time feeling, okay, what's my purpose here? Or are people going to think I'm not willing to help? Or are people going to think I just don't want to work? Like getting over those feelings too and realizing I'm not going to be there to do all the work and I have to be able to delegate work without feeling I need to do it too. So
yeah, I love that. Your kids now have grown up in security.
Yeah.
And they've grown up in a home where they're loved and cherished. And how does that make you feel now, knowing your arc?
I'll try. I've been a little emotional the past couple.
That's okay. That's okay.
So I got an eye.
Space here.
I'm in a safe space. I got an eye injury like earlier this year. I made a stupid mistake on a job site, and now whenever I cry, the next day my eye is red. So yesterday I had a rough day, and then I'm like, great. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta go.
Just get an eye patch.
So yeah, red pirate.
Arr.
Yeah. So now that I look at them, I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude, right? Like my faith is a huge part of my life. And I got up and gave my testimony at church one day. And, your testimony is your story and your journey and like how, God's gotten you through your life. And my youngest, I asked her, I'm like, oh, what do you think? Maybe you'll give a testimony one day. She's like, mine's kind of boring. And I was like, I did it, right? Like she has grown up in safety and security, and we've overcome a lot. We talk very openly about the challenges and healthy dynamics. We're domestic violence survivors, and we got out. A lot of people don't. So we talk pretty openly about that. And now seeing the choices that they make in their life, the security that they have, the stability that they have, I know how much work it's taken. There's actually a video out right now where it's like a flower, and the flower's like growing up in concrete, and there's a grass patch, and the flower needs to like get to the grass patch to have a happier life. And the concrete's hot and it's like the sun is beating on the flower and it like the flower kind of falls over. But the seedlings of the flower make it to the green patch. I'm going to cry about this flower video, but make it to the green patch. And that video really resonated with me because it's like all of the hard work, the struggle, the resiliency, all of that stuff I have put on my shoulders, but it has protected them from having to do that in their life. So yeah, I feel grateful. I feel accomplished. I look at them and I'm like, wow, they're just doing great in life and they're happy. And the house is full of laughter. And as much as life is hard sometimes, I see that and it makes it all worth it.
The laughter in the house is the reward.
Oh, it's the best. And I have the house that like the kids hang out at. So you walk in and you never know, the shoes everywhere and keeping food in the fridge is like a daily battle. But just knowing that it's also a safe place for other kids love to come and just hang out and be there. So yeah, I'm really proud of that.
You should be.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I love that. And that to me, that arc is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
When did you stop deciding to just survive and actually start rebuilding?
So I had gotten a couple jobs like after I started cleaning. I had built my resume to a point that I got some jobs that I didn't have the formal education for, but my experience I could translate and get that job. And but there was this feeling inside of me that I'm like, you gotta go for it. And I remember calling my dad. My dad is an entrepreneurial mind, but he also got into a very stable corporate career for the past like 20 years of his life and found a lot of peace in that because there's not the huge roller coaster ride. It's very consistent. So I called my dad and I'm like, I'm going to quit my job and my benefits and my salary and my pension and all of those things. And I'm going to go start a business again.
Most parents would hate to hear that because, I mean, you're talking about having, confidence and kind of like you feel resolute that your children are able to say that their life's pretty boring.
Yeah.
And then you're the child turning around saying, I'm going to follow this little voice in my head.
Yeah.
That says there's safety in this road, which you've been driving for safety at this point.
Yeah.
So why make that sudden Y turn and go into a much more, entrepreneurship's not for the weak-hearted.
No.
It's a tough battle.
Yeah.
And it can very much take a toll on anybody who goes into it.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody who gets through it is very respected because they have earned their stripes.
Correct. Absolutely.
Had you not earned your stripes up to then?
We weren't there yet. We weren't there yet. And the one thing I've learned about that little voice or that feeling that you get, for me, it's God, right? Is it will just get louder, right? So the more you try to be like, no, we're fine here. Like, we're just going to stay here and keep doing this. The more that feeling just gets more and more intense. I also felt a duty because I was seeing a lot of women in my situation who were trying to figure out ways that they could support their families and their children and earn an income during school and daycare hours. Like, that's a huge barrier to employment. I was an employment counselor for years. It's a huge barrier for people.
Still is.
So it was no longer just about me and my family. It was the fact that if I have the ability to solve this problem for people, it would be a disservice not to. Now, fast forward, business grew and things were great. And I was feeling super confident. And financially, I was in a whole new world, right? Just like I wasn't having to go at the grocery store and watch the total and wait to put things back. Like, that was over. I still check the bank account like 3 times every time I'm in the grocery store. I don't know if that'll ever go away, but I was in a whole new world. And then I almost lost it. And so that feeling of like, hey, you've lost it. You had a taste of it. You had that financial freedom. And now you're back to square one again. That was only in 2023, right? So the rebuild has come now. I'm in the journey now. I'm not on the other side of it. I think once I'm on the other side of it, it'll be a very inspiring story. Right now, I'm not sure what the outcome will be. But now is the rebuild phase.
I feel like you don't give your story enough credit because there are many people I know who look to your story as a source of inspiration.
Hmm.
And I think of young Stephanie would be looking up to you right now, going, one day I'd like to be like her.
Oh, yeah. You're right. The feeling of, not more, like it's not like a materialistic thing, but it's like I always move the bar, right? So
Why is that?
I think it's just, I don't know. It's rooted in there. It's like you go after something and then you accomplish it. And then you're like, okay.
Did you always like a challenge, or did you just grow into this?
Yeah. Like I've never been, I would not have been an easy child to raise for sure. At 14, I was like, I got this. Like, I don't need guidance. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, when I look back on the characteristics and I look through who I was as a younger child, I've been like this my whole life. Resiliency is a skill set that I have. And yeah, I like to shake it up, right? When things get calm, I'm like, what are we doing?
You know resiliency, but do you know peace?
I do. Actually, I'm really happy to say that over the past 2 years of my life, that was the hardest period of my life ever, right? Because it's one thing when you start off from nothing and you're starting the climb. The fall back down is not that far, right? Like you go up 2 stairs and you fall down, you're like, oh, that startled me. But when you get to the top of the staircase or the top of the mountain and you fall, it is a long drop. Like it hurts more, like the rolling down the hill hurts more than anything else. You get bumped and bruised. And so that took a lot out of me. So I had to just fully just get back to the basics of like, what does life look like? And I had a moment during the peak of what I would have thought was the peak of my business. I had 3 locations. I'm driving, the sun's out, summer's on, music's pumping. And I was in the county and I remember having this moment where I'm like, what am I doing? I'm further from the life that I wanted than I was when I started, because peace is what I've always wanted, right? So that's when everything, it kind of got ripped away and I had to start rebuilding from scratch. So at this point in my life, I know peace. I have great relationships. I have great friendships. My relationships with my kids is beautiful. There's been so much healing. Like my kids have grown up without a dad in the home, which brings on its own challenges, but we've had so much healing in that. I'm in a beautiful relationship, which I always hoped for, but now that I'm in it and ready for it, it's better than I could have ever imagined. And I'm finding joy in just being peaceful. I also only work mentally Monday to Friday from like 9 to 5, right? I've had to really look at my job as a bit like not as my business, but as a job.
Yep.
And that was, I think when we're start out as entrepreneurs, people are like, you are the business. Like it becomes your whole everything. And I've learned, no, my role is CEO of this company. And I also have, another company as well where I've got great partners and they share the workload. But in this company, my job is to go to work Monday to Friday and to lead people. We run 24/7. So sure, my phone might go off in the middle of the night sometimes, but I have the right people in the right places. And I try not to stress about work outside of work hours. So that's peace to me.
That's a tough one. Because I know I ended up having to put like restraints on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I shut down the phone at like 7 o'clock where it won't ring through, won't leave messages, nothing. It just goes dark. Basically, and in the morning, same thing. It won't turn on until like 8 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's like got these kind of bookends so I can at least have some peace. Because when you're working a job, you can show up in the 9 to 5 and leave, and there's not the investment, right? And I don't care who you are. If you're running a business, you have invested part of your soul into this.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get it back. FYI, it's gone, but it's there and it's part of you. And, the name of your company, all of that, the brand still has part of your soul in it that will never go away, that you'll always feel responsible for, right? You've created this thing that now exists in the world and it's yours to care for and to make sure it works. Right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's the hardest part a lot of non-entrepreneurs don't fully acquiesce is that.
Yeah. And when I say I don't stress about work outside of work. So this was the first year that I took off the whole time the kids were off for the holidays. And I had this moment where I'm like, my oldest just turned 17. If I don't do it now, she's driving. It's weird. If I don't do it now, like we're at the end of the high school years, right? So I decided to take it off. So as much as I didn't work, like I'm not on there calling people where the job. I'm still checking in, but I'm not like working. What I'm doing is I'm planning. And so I love thinking about my career. I love sitting there and visualizing things and trying to come up with concepts. And my favorite day of the week is Monday mornings because we have leadership meetings that day. And I can go into that and, how am I going to inspire people today? What are we going to focus on? How are we moving everything forward? So I spend my free time thinking about work, but from a visualizing really positive space, not the tangible operational things that happen, but from what are we doing? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? By the time I went back in January, I let my team know, I'm like, I'm coming in hot, like just be ready because I've been working on this mentally for 2 weeks now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I know when I got back from holidays, I came in hot and nothing was ready. And so I was like, so I was like, okay, we do this. And then all my clients are like, I'm hitting the ground running and there's so much to do. So we're going to talk next week. And suddenly I'm left like, okay, well, and now we're just like slow playing. And it's like a lot slower than what I was hoping at the beginning. Yeah. But it's still the same cadence. It's just slower than what I was expecting. And I think in my mind, I ramped it up to be like, yeah, we're going to go in, it's going to be this, and we're going to do that. And now it's like, and we're going to do that meeting next week now. It's like, oh, not tomorrow. No, we'll do it a week from now. It's like, okay, that's 5 whole days. Great.
Yeah.
I have some dad guilt that comes with being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Do you have mom guilt?
I have, definitely. I think that is a very real emotion as parents. Like we feel split. There's been times of my life where it would be nighttime and the kids are in their snowsuits standing at the door of a building and I'm mopping the floor. Like that was mom guilt because like they should probably be at home. There's been times where dinner was Tim Hortons bagels in the car, probably more times than not. There's been times where I come in, my last office, we just moved into our own building, but my last office was very close to home. It was about a 1.5-minute drive. And there was not enough time. I'd come home and your brain is still not present. And you walk in and it's just, I kind of felt hollow. So it's leaving now though, watching what their perspective is. Now it's a little bit different because it's been the 4 of us, like myself and my 3 daughters. And they helped build the business. Like since little babies, the phone would ring and they were like, whoop, like silent. They respected it. And when I did a speech at one of their schools and my oldest introduced me, and to hear her perspective, I was like, okay.
What was her perspective?
She was just really proud of me.
How did that make you feel?
I think how we view ourselves is a little, personally, how I view myself sometimes is a little harsh, right? So. Just over criticizing or, again, moving the bar, right? Like you accomplish this, now I'm onto that. So when I hear their perspective, or again, when I hear the laughter in the house, when I see the structure that they have, like, yeah, I know it was all for a good cause. The guilt I think I would feel is the circumstances we were in, right? So yeah, I think it is always going to be there on some level because you only have so much time in a day and you're choosing where to put it. But now at this point of my life, I am really prioritizing my time at home too and making sure that home is not the last piece. Yeah.
I've been getting more active in doing that because when I was building the company, it was like, I want to show the girls that you can do something big if you put your mind to it. Right? There's a beautiful quote from James Baldwin that says, children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them.
Oof. That's good. Yeah. And I would actually, people have said to me before, would you want them to take the business over? Would you want them to run a business? No.
Why not?
I'm doing this so they don't have to.
Why?
Right?
What if they came to you? Because I mean,
Ah.
you're sitting there saying to your dad, who's like, you know, he quit entrepreneurship because he knew the shit show that it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's told you this probably
Mm-hmm.
1,000 times. And then you're just like, full send.
Yeah.
Right?
Full
Like,
send.
So what happens when one of your girls says, Mom, I want to be like you, and I want to be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to go out into the world like that?
I think everything's lovely about being an entrepreneur. The only pressure that I wish I could, if they were going to do this, the one thing I'd want to take off their pain point would be cash flow. You don't know fear until you deal with that. So if they came to me and they're like, I have this idea, and I was in a position to not just like bail them out of every situation, but to know that there was a safety net there, so their level of nausea didn't have to get that severe, then like, yes, I think there's it's creative. You have the ability to, there's just so much satisfaction that comes from it. But the grind of the scary parts, I wouldn't want them to go through.
But that's what made you so resilient.
Yeah.
So would you not want them to have that resilience?
Yeah. But I also don't want them to have so much struggle, you know? So
Would you say struggles made you worse of a person?
no.
Would you say it broke you as a person?
Yes.
Would you say the breaking of you is what made you into the better person?
For sure. But also, I think I would have been a pretty fantastic person if it was just a little bit calmer too.
Actually, I would have preferred a few less cash flow problems, okay?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, cash flow is the one thing that will humble any business owner.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you and I have had some conversations about that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, and definitely your advice has changed the way I run the business dramatically.
Okay.
In fact, I slept during the Christmas break, which I never do,
Mm.
which is, yeah, I haven't shared that with you yet. It was one thing to go into the Christmas break, and I've had it twice in my business life where everything lined up properly, and I went for Christmas not thinking about anything.
Mhm.
That's it in my 20 odd years of doing business.
Those are great odds.
But this year, I slept like a baby.
Good.
Yep.
Why?
Because I knew how to handle cash flow. And I don't want to go too much into business, but here's the Stephanie 101 for cash flow. Feel free to like correct me if I'm wrong. I was treating my money coming in from projects, like my AR, as cash flow. Because this is my bank account. People give me money for projects and stuff like that. That then pays for the stuff that I do. And you turned around and said, no, you don't, you need another bank account. Like, it's like second breakfast. You need a second breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but this account has enough to hold you.
Yes.
And this account is very flush, but not too flush. It should always be, to give you enough for 2 months, maybe 3 months. But it's not necessarily your money. So you might have to borrow this money. And eventually, if you can replace that with your own money, good for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not your client's responsibility to fund your operating costs.
Yes.
And that was a lesson learned because, it becomes like a desperate feeling because again, you're at the mercy of somebody making a payment or, and that feeling of staring at the bank account and waiting for that to come in. I believe that you find other avenues to fund your operating costs and to fund your business. And then your clients are how you generate revenue.
Yeah. And I find my relationship with my clients is a lot better now.
Yeah.
I find that I don't get frustrated as much with them now because I'm like, okay, you need a bit more time. That's fine. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it just becomes a thing. It's just like, you're good. We've got this sorted. So like, thank you for that because that allowed me that peace of mind during Christmas.
There was one year though that where I didn't tell you the negative part of this theory because I didn't hear the time. But there was one year where this was back when I was doing residential cleaning, and the difference between residential cleaning and commercial cleaning is commercial is like monthly invoices. Residential, you get daily money coming in. And it was over Christmas, and there was a few people who hadn't paid their bills, but I didn't want to bother them, and I didn't want to stress them out and whatever. And so then their accounts got so high that when I finally did call them, they're like, well, I can't afford this anymore. And they canceled their services. And it happened to like multiple clients.
Oh no.
So that's when I learned there is a balance between accounts receivables is a thing. You got to manage it. You don't want people to get so much money that they don't see a way out. But yeah, it's like a little dance.
It's the balancing act.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hire someone to deal with that balancing act, because that's one part that like I'm not particularly great at. I like doing the work. I like managing the team, but that part. And so that's the one thing I've learned is if there's something that you're either really bad at or you really dislike, then there's a way of not outsourcing it, but just kind of delegating it to somebody who probably enjoys that part, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen it done with like other companies where they've like contacted me, like, hey, just so you know, this is overdue. But they do it in such a way that you're like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Like it's just a no, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, they just make, it's just, this is on my checklist. I got to get this done.
Yep.
When I'd sit there and be like, shit, I need a script. I need to figure this out. Like the angles, I've got to figure all that right in my mind. And that to me is growth in myself, is saying, I don't need to do that anymore. That needs to be someone else, because that's something that they can do much better.
Yeah, you have to remove yourself from certain things. Like I see the reports, I don't make the reports.
Yeah.
So if something, I'm at a pretty beautiful space in my career where I delegate. My job is leadership.
Yeah.
My job is overseeing a team, and then their roles handle all of the operating things that happen within the company, finance, sales, administration, marketing, like all of that stuff. I just sit and let people do what they do best. Because if it was all on me, like, woo.
Yeah, be crushing. So what is something that you're really proud of that your kids got to see you go through in your personal growth during your journey?
I'm really proud that my kids get to see the relationship that I'm in now. Because I wasn't ready for a relationship like that before. It took a lot of work on myself. And I always carried, when you talk about the mom guilt, that was one area of my life where I didn't really feel like I had given them a very good example of. Now, I never settled. So that was another thing. But now, one of my daughters had said, when I grow up, I want a relationship like them. And I was like, like, we did it. So watching that develop has been really good. I'm really happy that they can see that, because it was not a void, but it was a missing piece for sure. And just see what the future holds in that perspective. But having them see me be treated properly.
Like seeing you become a leader?
Become a leader, seeing me be loved the right way, like letting them see that, and and I've always been open with what I'm working on with them. Yeah. So
do you let them see the imposter syndrome, and do you show them how to go through it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We talk pretty openly about that all the time, and what opportunities are in front of us or where the business is going. They think it's cool. They'll look up the business. I think you talked about this too. Your kids were like looking up the business with their friends at school.
It was weird because one of my, I think it was Poppy's friends, were watching a YouTube video, and Poppy could hear my voice. And it was when we did the Building the Studio series, which was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And like we started that series just to show like we wanted to do this, and this is the passion of this project. And she didn't know that I had that stuff out there, but she knew that it was me, and they were excited because they're like, this studio's coming to Belleville and it's cool and it's different, and I want to try and like get to know this more. And they were really excited. And my kids just like, that's my dad.
Aww.
And like, and I find it's really weird because Elodie kind of understands it now. I find Poppy starting to understand who I am and what I've become, because like being a figurehead of anything is really, really scary. And maybe it scares me more than it scares you, but like,
no, it scares me.
Like whether it be my business or whether it be the podcast, being the leader, and it's a price of, first off, I'm proud of this team and I'm proud of what, my teams have done, but I'm still that person who's learning. And to me, that is a tough place to come from. I can't teach you if I'm learning it in my mind. Right? I should know it all. I should be the best. I should be able to say, oh yeah, just switch that to over here and that's success.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Do you have that feeling?
Oh yeah, all the time. But I think it depends what the topic is, but because now with the type of technology and information we can access online, what I don't know, I can figure out quite quickly. And that has become like a tool in my toolbox that, yeah, I don't really have to be like, oh, I need to figure, like I can, as long as I'm very specific in what the question is, I can figure out an answer. So
did you always want to be a leader?
Yeah. Oh, I used to get in trouble in school and stuff because
Were you bossy?
they made me a bus monitor once. They gave me a vest and the power went to my head. So I was not allowed to be a bus monitor anymore. I was not letting certain kids off the bus. Like it was a whole thing. So, yeah, I would say I've always wanted to be a leader for sure.
How old were you?
Oh, small child. Like, yeah. I also I remember once, I decided I didn't want to go to my house after school. I brought up to my parents, I want to go back to the daycare I was at after school or whatever. And it was one of those, yeah, we'll talk about it another time. And I didn't show up at home that day. And my mom freaks out. And then the daycare called and goes, Stephanie showed up on the bus. I talked that bus driver into the fact that I am to be on this bus and I am to go to that location. So it's always been part of my character. And I don't make a very good employee.
You and I both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certain places, like working at the YMCA, I was a great employee there because it was like the type of environment it was and the management style.
Yeah.
But other places that I've worked, yeah, you walk in and you're like, I can see 100 ways to do this better. And people are like, you're new here. Please be quiet.
Please this is the way we do it. Okay. It's like, no, but like, hear me out.
Yeah. So no, I love it. I have the gift to do it. Because it feels natural. Sometimes you forget it's a gift. But
does it ever get heavy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, like, as someone who I didn't want it, and then I grew into it. Like, the heaviness is always there for me. Like, I'm always aware of it. Do you, like, mostly walk through life, like, light and airy, or do you always have that on your shoulders?
Depends on the day. It's a heavy thing. Because when you're leading people, you're taking all of the extra stress off their shoulders, the things that, they can carry so much, but the things that are too heavy, you have to take those on. So yeah, it can feel like, it depends on your perspective. If your phone's going off, you have to be ready to only hear about problems. Because when things are going good, your team is handling it. You can very quickly get into the headspace of like, everything's failing. There's problems everywhere. Well, there's not. There's way more things going right than there's going wrong, but it'll feel heavy. It'll feel lonely sometimes. There's days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel overly nice today, right? Or I'm just feeling really irritated. Like that's the thing. I deal with quiet irritation a lot, right? So I try not to show it, but yeah, I deal with that where I get frustrated or irritated. Yeah. But
see, I work with someone who has open irritation. Like he does it.
Who is it? Can you point at them?
It might be behind them.
Okay. He can hear us.
He sure can. But I mean, like it's hard because you have to show up with a consistency that they expect.
Yeah.
And there's no getting around that.
No. But I think I have a very nurtured team at this point. Like we are, a couple of years ago, I sat them all down. This was one of the hardest conversations I ever had. I realized I might have to shut this business down. And I keep bringing up my dad today. Like, hi, Dad. But I called my dad and I was like, this is what's going on. And it was December. And I'm like, I'm going to have to let them go in January. And he was like, if you wait till January, they would have spent all their money on Christmas. And I was like, ugh. So it was, mid-December. And
you had to lay people off?
I can say I've never laid anyone off up until this point, but I thought I was going to have to. So I sat them all down because I knew what it was going to take to get us out of this mess. So I sat them down and we sat at a table like this. And I said, this is where we're at. You have two choices. One is you can put your hand up and I will lay you off. The other is you will pick up a mop and we're going to get to work. And they all decided to pick up the mop and get to work. nobody asked me, because if they would have asked me, I would have been like, yes, please lay me off. But watching that, I think getting to that level of vulnerability with the team and all of us putting our effort into one common, we all have the vision, right? It's very clear. And to see everybody work their butts off like that to get us back to where we are right now, there's a bonding element that is there where you can be pretty real with people once you've been there.
We've both heard a good leader has a great vision. But what happens when the great leader runs up against their vision and the trials that ensue? Where does that leave that person then?
I think you have to, as a leader and as a visionary, you have to still, like, even if you've got to like use a telescope, you've got to still see something. And at least there's a way to get there. It might be hard and it might take a long time. But you still have to communicate that to people. Because if you get hopeless, you know, there's times where I'm like, why do people keep following me around? Like, I don't know where we're going. But I think they believe in what we're doing. And yeah, I think you have to have that glimmer of hope and keep that vision, as distant as it may seem. You have to hold on to that.
It's faith.
Yeah.
Like you know, so here's an interesting conversation I had with someone who just closed their business. And they said, I always knew that it would be a tough ride. I didn't realize how long or how far I'd have to go. And I said to them, I'm like, but did you know where you were going to end up? And he's like, no, I just knew I needed to get through it. And he's like, well, you have that, right? And I'm like, no, I've always known that it's going to be successful. There's never been a doubt in my mind, right? It doesn't matter how. That's inconsequential. It's always going to work. I've always had that weird, like clear, this is going to happen. And we are here and we're going to end up there. There's never a question in my mind that it's not going to be successful.
That's it.
Like, do you have to have that clear conviction? Almost stupid. Like it's not even bravado at that point. It's just you're blind to the option of failure.
Yeah. I've referred to it a few times as delusional faith. Like sometimes I'm like, is this crazy? Right. But
Probably.
And funny enough, like there's times where I've fantasized about closing it. Like where you sit there and you're like, what would that be like? Think of the freedom.
But you know why? Because you want the struggle at the beginning again.
Possibly. Well,
possibly someone who keeps reinventing the.
Well, sometimes I just want to lay it down because it's hard. But that feeling I have to push aside and be like, things that are worth it are hard.
But isn't that good?
Yeah.
Like if it's hard, then no one's really trying to do it.
Yeah. Like if you're at the gym and you're not lifting a weight that you feel like there's no way I'm going to be able to lift this, you're not going hard enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think there's people out there, and I have all the respect in the world for people who are shutting businesses down. I know quite a few people, and hats off to you, because sometimes I'm like, is it harder to hold on than it is to let go? Like, am I just being stubborn?
Had that conversation.
Yeah. Am I being stubborn?
Well, I mean, from what I'm reading with books, is there's so many elements to make a good business, and it'll break most people to know how much emotional stress is involved in making something go from 0 to 1. Mm-hmm. Right? And there's even a book called 0 to 1. It's a phenomenal read. And it's basically like, you are doing the hardest thing by doing this. Because if it doesn't exist, then you have to will it into existence. And it's going to be kicking and screaming as it comes out. It's not coming out easily. It's going to be a long slog. It's going to take way longer than you and I want it to take.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the part that everyone's lied to about when they get into entrepreneurship. They think it's going to be 5 years.
Well, and 5 years, I knew when I decided to keep going that it was going to be 5 years.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be a 5-year plan. When you start 5 years, you're like, that doesn't sound so bad. When you end 5 years, you're like, that went by really fast. But when you're in the middle of 5 years, you're like, this is never ending. But it is a short amount of time in reality, the amount of businesses that shut down before that time, those odds are very, very high. And I have to look at the small wins too, right? Like, even though, like how people say it's the journey, not the destination. Mm-hmm. At 41 years old, I have freedom. I can run my business from anywhere. I can run it off my phone. I'm in complete control of that aspect of my life. I feel fulfilled. I get up and I feel like I have purpose. Like those are all huge wins. It's a very small percentage of people feel like they have found their purpose in their career. So I try to hold on to those moments too.
I like that because I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Me neither.
Right? Like if I had to rebuild it and, you know, be a bottle manufacturer or something, I would redo it. But I would never get out of entrepreneurship.
I'm in it.
It's just in your blood, right?
Yeah. There's times, like, do you ever go on Indeed?
Nope.
Never? You've never done that? Oh,
I just
okay.
know how bad of an employee I am. Like legitimate, like I'm a terrible employee.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised I've never been fired.
Well, it's because you're so charming.
Also, quit before they have a chance to fire me.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like, you know, it's just, it's never crossed my mind.
Yeah, for me, it has in those moments where I feel I just, tired probably is the word.
Yeah.
But then I'll be on there for a minute. I'm like, all right, back to work.
It's like I can hire someone to do that and then do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said to one of my friends, I'm like, I just want to sell everything and go move into the country and have a garden and get some chickens. She was like, you would be turning that into a side road market before the day was over.
Okay,
like,
let's talk about this. Let's break this down because so Trish and I have got into a bit more homesteady kind of stuff recently. We started canning, we have our own bread, like all of these things.
Love
and
it.
like we are starting to enjoy the slower things in life. Right. And I'm a big proponent of if you can take time to do it, then you're actually enjoying your time. Right. So like because everything moves so fast now, right? Like the phones are so fast, all of this is so quick. So being able to slow down and say, we're going to do this just for the sake of doing it. There's not actually going to be an output. And so one of the things we're looking at is getting a farm and just a small farm and with a few chickens and like nothing crazy. And Trish and I have had this conversation of like, well, can you handle having a farm or will it end up becoming a thing?
Yeah. I've also had this conversation. My goal in life is also land.
Okay.
I have a very clear vision of having a separate building on my property that has my office. So I get up in the morning. I know what my slippers, they'll be by the door. I have a coffee cup.
If you have a little covered way, by the way, you don't even get snowed on.
Oh, that's great.
Not that I thought of that.
Yeah. So I can see that. And one of the things I've always want is chickens, right? But yeah, very quickly I can make something my whole personality. And would that just ramp up? Also, there's a lot of work that goes into that and watching the life slow down a little bit. But I also, funny enough, I've also been getting into the slower things of life, like cooking from scratch. I had to buy a 10-kilogram bag of flour.
Yep.
And I'm like, I have arrived. Like I
It's
need
fantastic.
this much flour in my house because we bake like crazy. So cooking things from scratch, making sure that meals are, it's just a little bit more effort because it used to be convenience was everything to me. I just needed what was fast. I didn't think about dinner until it was dinner time. And now I'm just really enjoying,
The slower
being
pace
at
of life.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to think I had to wait for the land to do those activities. But what I learned is I need to start those activities now to make sure I actually like them.
Yeah.
Right?
Could you imagine you buy the farm, do all of that, and then find out I hate making bread. I
this.
hate chickens. There's so much work.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
doing those little things of like, I'm not going to turn into a gardener once there's land. Like, make sure you water your plant. If you can't water your plants,
Yeah.
There's
systems you can set up though. Like we set up a sprinkler system to kind of keep the garden watered.
Yeah.
And we come back from holiday and it's like fully overgrown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just literally buy like a little digital thing, plug it onto the.
So you're going to take your
hose.
little farm and you're going to completely automate it.
Just the watering. the stuff
Yeah.
we don't want to stand there with a hose and I mean, I think automation allows us to do some good things, right? And like you and I both know the pros and cons of automation, right? Like if you automate too much, then you lose the soul.
Mhm.
If you automate too little, then you're leaving a lot on the table because there's a lot of things that can be automated that are quite simple,
Mhm.
right? When it comes to a lifestyle and building out the dream life as a leader, what is a win?
What is a win? For me, it's right now I'm really focused on creating like measurables and ways to have accountability on things. So my win will be when I can just come in and chat with people about how things are going because I can get all the information I need through a dashboard. That will be my win where I can really just pour into the relationship aspect with people. During Christmas, I would love to be able to, give people enough to pay their rent or their mortgage for the month. Like there's certain things that would make me feel really good as a leader. But I think the thing even now that brings me the most joy is like watching people step into a skill set that they didn't even know they had. That's one of my gifts is I can see things in people. So people stepping out, getting over their fears and stepping into their potential is, it brings me joy right now. So I would say a win for me would just having access to the information that I need. So the time that I spend with people is relationship focused.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. You?
For me, I found, and there's, kudos to Loyalist College actually for this, was they brought me in to do some like prof work, there's some teaching. And it was during that time that I realized I really enjoy teaching. But I don't enjoy teaching in the classic sense, like the, stand in the classroom and all that. Like I enjoy kind of helping someone get to that next layer. And it's not necessarily, and there's questions that always seem to pop up into me. Like they'll be like, hey, how do I do this? How do I market this? How do you do that? And so like being able to be a bit more of a, I guess as you grow as a leader, you get to the point where you want to share back the information to remove some of the stress and some of the frustration, right? Because like you've often spent time letting me know of like things that you've learned, right? Because these are things that you've gone, I've tried this, it worked, try that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't know the perfect way, you know what worked for you. Right? And I think like that for me is I'm starting to get a bit more leaning into that and, kind of share that. Also just like, I think people take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And just being able to be, you're an entrepreneur, you're great, you're doing all this, but also, how are you? What's going on? And all those layers that we kind of forget because we stack ourselves with responsibilities and just kind of what we do in life without actually asking ourselves, who are we and why should we show up in this world the way we do?
100%. Yeah, the relationship with people is so important. And I want to get to a point where I'm not distracted by the stress or the things that I'm thinking about that it takes away. I had a moment like that last week. I saw somebody and I was just in a good headspace and I was like, oh, hi, how are you? And I give him a big hug. And I realized how much that person needed that in that moment. And if you would have caught me on a different moment in a different day, I might have been like, oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Right. So because I was in such a peaceful place in my own mind, I was able to then pour out to somebody else. Like that, I think, is the goal in all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I see that with you. You're really, really phenomenal at showing up the way people need them you to show up. Like for the most part. Right. Like every time I've met you, you've been like, how's it going? What's going on? Like, and then you've automatically gone into like let me help you with this. Right. Your ability to see things is really uncanny, which is good. And I think that's from a lifetime of figuring out if you're in trouble or not, or figuring out if this works or not. And you've analyzed a lot of things and you've got a lot stuck in your brain now that identifies these things and goes, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. No, don't touch that.
Yeah. You learn to read like body language, tone, like, I've had a few relationships in my life that were not very predictable. So you get to the point of trying to read the room. And that has given me a really good skill set, I find, of connecting with people or seeing what people need in that moment or how to talk to somebody. Interesting. We both know my struggle with like social media and like putting things out there. One of my passions is helping people learn how to manage their homes. Even though I don't work in that industry anymore, it's like the thing that I'm the most passionate about. And I did this private group for like a workshop that's coming up. And so it's so safe and private because there's only like the members that I know are in there. And it's really giving me a chance to kind of speak my voice and put things out there that I thought people might need to hear. And then when I see the response, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is needed, these conversations. So I really want to just get over myself and get to a point where I can give to other people without the fear of like
rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Does that worry you?
Yeah. I think from like a real perspective, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel safety is a big thing for me. And sometimes when you're going through challenges, the one emotion that I would feel a lot is being exposed, right? The bigger your platform, the more exposure you have.
Yeah.
So I think I've been trying to kind of like keep that a little bit tight.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to say like these things I have to say might resonate with somebody. Somebody might need to hear them.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of where I started doing the podcast again.
Yeah.
Because you notice it's not, I mean, I try to steer it away from business as much as possible. I talk about leadership and I'll talk about mindset, but I try to stay away from the business side of it as much as possible. Because to me, when I first did the podcast, it was always about the business side. Like, how do we do this? But it was never about the why. And that's what kept falling apart. And it didn't resonate well with me. And now this is much more vulnerable because this is much more open, but it's where I need to be. And like you said, if this resonates with somebody, if someone's sitting there going, oh, I think I'm in that kind of seat right now. And how did they do that? How did, Stephanie get over this? That to me is more interesting. So the podcast allows me to do that at scale with a lot of different people and a lot of different kind of like concepts and ideas. And yeah, it's kind of a nice, I don't want to call it therapy, but it's starting to feel a little bit like therapy.
It really does.
Like having this conversation over, and I feel like my guards get let down when I'm sitting at this table. Like if you and I have a conversation, I feel like there's some guards that stay up, but then this kind of reveals, I don't know why. I don't know what it is, which is ironic because we have 4 or 5 cameras pointed at us right now. So yeah.
It does feel very like, it's like an intimate, vulnerable, like it just feels like you and I, even though.
That's intentional too.
It's good.
Jacob's sitting out there, like, like most of them hide behind there now.
Oh, that's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just eating food. So
no, it's good. I think even that day you came by my office and we like sat. I sat on my beanbag chair and you were you were on your chair. Like, real conversations are important, and I think it creates. You're able to be more relatable. Yeah. Right. Like people see things from the outside and they have their perspective, and it's like a lot goes on the inside too.
Yeah. I find too with me, especially with ADHD, objects permanence is sometimes a problem. It's like when it's out of sight, I forget. And then it comes back to like, oh yeah, it's the best thing ever. Right. So it's like that happens with conversations too. When like, if I see a conversation, if I see something like you post up online, I'll be like, Stephanie, I should chat out. And it's like, it just reminds you. And it's like, that's what is really cool about socials and like the content game is like, it's something that you can share and it's broader than you could ever imagine, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I wanted to touch on, can I ask you a question?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to touch on the ADHD thing because, we both have that skill set, I'll call it. And it was really funny to me that I put in a person in my financial team who then you also put in your financial team for Heather.
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to kind of hear your perspective on what it's like when you meet somebody who has a different set of skill sets than you, but they get it.
She does just get it though.
Yeah.
Like when you talk to her, I remember because I've been through a fair amount of bookkeepers, fair amount of accountants. And so I have a really phenomenal accountant. So like shout out to Mike at Welch. He's treated us amazing and he does amazing. But also Heather at Wanderlust, is that correct? I'm going to try and remember her company's name now.
I just know it's Heather Cairns.
Yeah. So
Heather Cairns bookkeeping.
Yeah. So I think it's called Wanderlust. I'm not sure. And the reason behind that is, and like she lives the dream. So she works from her laptop in whatever country she's in.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation.
Thailand right now.
Thailand? Yeah. Because I had a conversation when she was in Indonesia. And I was like, it's so cool to like hear and like to chat. And, I'm like, man, like that's some like, I told her, I'm like, you got to read 4-hour work week because he literally talks about this. Like the nomadic lifestyle is a phenomenal concept. And it's great if you have kids. It can be still done with kids, but it's harder. Right? And I know like we love our roots and we love to settle down and be in this area. But like, that's also like when I was younger, the nomadic lifestyle would have been absolutely amazing. So yeah, she's the way she gets it, and the way like the way she gets it, and the way that she's.
What was so funny?
He's like ADHD left turn doofus. It's the worst part about having this. Yeah. So when someone gets it and they you talk to them, and you're especially about something serious like a business where you're already scared, and like they have an understanding, but they also have a certain amount of tolerance for the bullshittery that comes along with ADHD. It's like, it's nice to have. And it's like, you just have to connect with the right people. And sometimes someone can be perfectly good at what they do, but not a good fit.
Yeah. Cause for me, I deal a lot with the vision and the feeling behind things. But when you're dealing with somebody who sees the facts, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, listen, so the feelings feel better right now.
So, yeah, I've found that too, like putting people in your wheelhouse that have the skill set that you might have a gap in, but also get it.
Yeah.
And still, I think she equally feeds the vision and the facts, the feels and the facts.
The feels and the facts.
Yeah.
I have started implementing something that I used to do for my photography work into my business work. And it's basically I call it baking, right? So you do a photo shoot, and then you edit the photos. And before you send it out to the client, you give it at least 24 hours. So you edit the images, you get them done, or you do the video, whatever the creative piece is, and then you just leave it and you don't think about it. You don't touch it for at least 24 hours, ideally 48 hours. Then you go back and look at it with fresh eyes.
Interesting.
And so I started into a business. So I'll be like, I want to make this decision. I'm like, no, before you do, because that's a major decision, sit on it, right? Write down your plan on what you want to do, and then come back to it in 24 to 48 hours. And more often than not, if I give myself some time, I'm like, yeah, that was a bit rash. Let's just try this. And this a more measured hand comes in, and it's like, yeah, that's great. But like, because ADHD wants it all to be done now, and to the maximum it can be done.
Perfectionism.
Right? Professionalism and like perfectionism is all part of that, right? So, but learning to tone it back and say, okay, that was really ambitious. That's good, but we can go here, right? And then we can get to there.
We just started time blocking at work because you can like pick something up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. You start over here, you finish project, like it's all over the place, and it can start to feel very chaotic. Whereas now having those color coded time blocks, like there was an issue that popped up today, and even leading the team through it, like the one person I reached out to be like, hey, there was a mistake here. She went right into like, okay, let me get on it. I'm like, nope, we have it set for Thursday afternoon. Just print everything off. We'll revisit it then. It just adds this level of calmness to everything to get out of the chaos.
The chaos,
Yeah.
Chaos wrangling when you first start is like a point of pride.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm busy. Or this is crazy. But then now when I hear a business owner say, oh, it's been like super busy, I'm like, okay, so where are you lacking priority?
Yeah.
Which sounds horrible, but it's like, I've got to the point where I just like, okay, so what are you doing wrong then? Because you shouldn't be busy. Busy is a sign of failed systems.
100%. That used to be part of, that was how I answered every question. How are you? Oh, I'm so busy. Oh yeah, I'm busy. It's crazy. When now I'm like I sat down and ate lunch today. That's like a win. Right?
They got lunch. I got my lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the overarching trajectory of a business, of a brand, is defined by their leader. And I think ultimately that leader's job isn't to really work on the business, it's to work on themselves, to get them to the point where they can actually lead the company.
Yeah. 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 The days I don't go to the gym is noticeable. Right? Because like, where does all of that go? But yeah, I think the more work I do on myself, it's not to have a team that I used to think productivity was just being so, like your schedule being so packed. And then when it's not packed, it almost feels uncomfortable, right? Yeah. So you've got to get through that discomfort and realize, no, calm and intentional life is what brings peace. So, and peace should be the overall goal that we're all looking for anyways.
Yep. I love the fact that you have like 2-3 companies going any one time, and then you're toying with your personal brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We want to show who you are and teach what you know, but then give them what are you planning on? What's the mission behind your personal brand? Because it's a lot different than what your business is.
Yeah. So it's teaching people to run their home like a business,
Why is that important?
because home is the center of everything that we do. And it can cause a lot of frustration and stress in relationships, just the feeling people have when they walk in the door. Most people feel overwhelmed, unsupported, like they're failing. And so the whole thing is the missed a spot mentality, right? That's a theory I've been building for years, where we lay down at night and we only think about the things we didn't do, not all of the things that we've accomplished. And that is a mindset that I see reflected in how people look at their space. Our space and in our environment is a direct reflection of how we're doing internally. So if I go into someone's home, and there's never any judgment. I've seen it all. But when I go into a space, I can tell how somebody's doing by what their environment looks like. And I think that's the place that people need peace the most. So once I started getting a handle of my home, it made everything that I was dealing with during the day manageable, because I wasn't walking in the door and then I was already at like a 90, and then like shoes at the front door could put me right over the top. I was walking in calm and ready to engage with my family. So
does that apply to people who have busy lives? Because I mean, you don't want it to become one more thing to add into it, right? So is this specifically designed for people who are already operating at a pretty high level? Like, whether it be a parent, whether it be a worker, or...
It can actually be anybody. Like, I've seen people who are a stay-at-home parent who are feeling like this, and people who are running, large multi-million-dollar companies that are feeling like this. It's about systems, and it's about allocating a budget. In your own business, you can either do the financial work yourself, or you can delegate it, right? There's a cost to delegating it. So it's either your time or money. And by creating those systems in our homes and in our environment, we can just start to make it a little bit more manageable. The same as feeling like you're so busy is showing a lack of systems. Same in the home. If you cannot get your home guest ready within an hour, there's systems that are not working properly.
And so your plan is to share these systems and to build you're going to build like a library of systems? Is it going to be a course? Or what is the master plan?
I don't know. Like, I would love to write a book. It would be called Missed a Spot. Like that, I've been thinking about that for years and years. I think it's also just allowing people to realize, like, the things we struggle with within our homes are behind closed doors. So we do it silently. And when people come over, you bring your house up to the best standard before they see it. So it's something we struggle with quietly alone a lot of the time. So keeping your house managed to a high level takes about 8 hours per family member per day. On a manageable level, it's about 5 hours. Per week.
Okay, I was like, per day? Stephanie, we need lives here.
So when people are feeling overwhelmed, it's not a failure. It's not a, you don't know how to do this, or you're just not good at anything. It's a fact that it's a time problem and a systems problem. So that's something that I'm really diving into, just because, again, my house, that's how I got into the cleaning industry to start. I had my 3 kids at home and somebody rang the doorbell and I made them all hide. We hid behind a couch until the person left. And then I realized I can't be the only person who's feeling like this, right? Yeah. So there's something about walking in to a room where your bed was made that morning that can start to change your life.
That is one thing that I always do, is I try to make the bed, because I know that if I don't, when I get back, then I feel like it's chaos. But not only that, like, a made bed it gives you a quick win. Yeah. Right? It's like, I find the satisfaction of making my bed or doing 20 push-ups is the same kind of vibe as like, I just won something. Let's go. And then you get on with the day and grow and build.
Yeah, you did something for your future self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Stephanie, this has been wonderful.
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah.